run through on how to change a tyre on your Mazda. Hopefully you'll never have to, but it's always better to be prepared to know how to do it. And we'll give you a short instructional video, step by step, on what to do. One of the main things you have to realise, obviously, if you're on the side of the road, is to be in a safe position that you can change the tyre and you're nowhere near any oncoming traffic. And you'll also have to make sure the car is on firm ground, not on grass. If it is on dirt, you'll have to make sure that it is compacted, because you obviously don't want the jack to sink. Okay, so after you've made sure you've got the car into a safe position and you've pulled over, first thing to do is turn your hazard lights on to make sure that others that are coming behind you or near you know that they need to slow down and be aware of what's happening. If it's an automatic, make sure the car is in park, or if it's a manual, place the vehicle in gear just as an extra precaution, and make sure that the handbrake is on all the way. Okay, so all that's been done and we're ready for our next step of the process, which is to locate the jack and the spare tyre in the tools. Now, I'm going to show you on this Mazda 3 where that is, but if you're not sure, your owner's manual, which is in your glove box, does show you exactly where the tools, the jack. Okay, so now it's time to get the spare tyre and the tools out of the car. On most Mazdas it is located under this actual boot carpet, but once again, if you're not sure, please consult your owner's manual. So you can see here we've got the tyre, the spare tyre, which is a space saver on the Mazda, so it's a speed limited tyre. It's only designed to get you from the breakdown point to the nearest service station. And then we've also got our black bag of tools, and within that we have the jack handle, and we also have our wheel brace. So we'll go ahead and unpack that. Okay, so the next step is we're going to take the actual spare tyre out of the car. So we just undo it once again counterclockwise, and that's your wheel brace, which also acts as a method to undo this, and that's in that black tool bag. So we're just undoing the bolt. That's undone, and once again just place that to one side, out of the way, and then we can lift the spare tyre out. Okay, so next step in the process, I hope you're watching this from the comfort of your lounge room, not on the side of the road trying to work it out for the first time. And ideally, these things never happen at the right time, in the right location. It's going to rain, you're going to be dressed for work and whatnot. So what I highly recommend is this weekend you go to the shops, buy yourself a pair of gardening gloves. That way it keeps your hands clean. You can take them back off, put them in with the spare tyre and use them again next time. As you can see, these ones are being used for just that. And also go to the hardware or the supermarket and buy yourself a $2 or $5 tarpaulin to put down in the ground. Once again, the ground's going to be dirty. It may be raining when this happens, and if you're waiting for roadside assist to come on a rainy day, you may be waiting for some time, or there may be a bit of mud or anything on the ground. So this will save your clothes and your sanity as well. Okay, the next step in the process, what we're going to do is actually loosen off the wheel nuts while the car is still on solid ground. So at this point we won't actually jack the car up, we'll just loosen the nuts off, not take them off altogether. Now it's important to once again remember that the nuts are undone anti-clockwise, and it's much easier to push down on this than rather than have it on the other side trying to pull it up. And I'll also show you another little thing in a moment. So we'll just undo those. Now, okay, here's a bit of a tough one. So if you can't undo this, the idea is to stand up and put your foot on it and just press down. So once again, rather than break your back, use your feet just to undo it. Okay, so that's all undone enough. So the next point we'll do is actually show you where the jack goes on the car, and underneath here there's jacking points, which in your owner's manual as well. So if you're not sure where the jack goes, there is a small cutout section at the rear and at the front, and your area of the jack actually fits up into this cutout, so it's the proper jacking point so it won't damage anything. So now we'll go ahead and put the jack under. Next step, in our tool bag we already used our wheel brace, and we also have the jack handle itself. Now this is a two-part process, so it fits in there like so, and then this part fits over the wheel brace to give you a crank handle. And then what you do is just jack the car up. Now you've only got to have the car jacked up just enough so that the wheel clears the ground. It doesn't have to be all the way up. Okay, so we've got the vehicle jacked up enough now. Don't put your hand under there just in case something happens. Use the brace, and as you can see it fits under there, and that's all the room we need to change the tyre. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and take all the wheel nuts off. Now it's very important once you take the wheel off the car. Over the years I've seen many people on the side of the road sit down with their legs on either side of the car, and they sit here and they undo these by hand, and that's a big no-no, because if something ever happens to the jack, if the car falls off, it'll instantly crush your legs. Or if, heaven forbid, if something happened and someone hit the car or knocked something and the car fell off the jack, once again your legs would be crushed. So always make sure that you stay well away, just like where I am, just on the outside, and that way you're in complete safety. Okay, all the wheel nuts are off now, and as you can see I've got them here. Put them in a safe spot, don't leave them on the ground where you might kick it and one goes out on the road. So what I would normally do is just put them down next to the jack. Move your tools to the side. Once again, the idea of all this whole exercise is safety. Now one other thing I do once I get this tyre off, while I'm waiting to put the other one on, as I mentioned before, you're always mindful of the car. Maybe something happens to it, so it's safety first. So I would always take the flat wheel off. And move it around under the car, so if something happens to the jack, the car doesn't fall onto the ground, it comes down onto the wheel, and it's highly unlikely that something will happen. These jacks are very good, but as I said, and I can't stress highly enough, it is safety first all the time. Okay, so we've got our spare tyre on. As I said, it is a smaller tyre. It is only a temporary spare tyre. It is made out of long life rubber, because rubber does go off, so this will last you many years in the boot if you hopefully never have to use it. So we've got that on now. We've put all our wheel nuts on, and we just do them up by hand until they grab, and then we tighten them slightly, and we start with one. We don't go around, we go from in a cross pattern, so to speak. So there, and then there. Now that's all tight enough, and once you've got it that tight, we're ready to let the car down on the ground and tighten them fully. Okay, so we've lowered the car down onto the ground. Now it's time to tighten the wheel nuts. Once again, it's easier to apply downward pressure, so we'll be doing it this way, not from that side lifting up. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now they're all tight enough, and the next step is to pack up. Okay, so there we are. It's that easy how to change a tyre. Good thing is nowadays you can watch this on your smartphone if you're on the side of the road if you ever get stuck. A few things just to go over again. Stable ground, make sure it's in park, handbrake on, get yourself a pair of gloves because my hands are as clean as when I started. A cheap tarp just to put down on the ground, and take your time, watch what you're doing, and it's that simple. If you found this video helpful, please click on the link below and give us some feedback. Thank you.